Want to learn how to add the perfect text with awesome effects to your designs in Canva to create eye-popping content that will really catch your audience's attention? In this video, I'm going to show you how to add amazing text effects to your designs in Canva to create eye-popping content that is sure to get attention. Hi, and welcome to my channel. I've been using Canva for almost 9 years now, and now I use it daily for my business. So be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every week when I release a new tutorial. In my video, Easy Canva Tutorial for Beginners 2022, I show you the basics of Canva, so if you're brand new to Canva, be sure to give that a watch, and you'll find a link to it in the description below. But in case you haven't watched that video yet, let me show you real quick how to add text to your artboard, which is where you create your designs. And this is your artboard. This is where you actually create your designs. It's really simple and easy to add text by just clicking the text button in the left sidebar, and your text menu opens, and then you can click on add a heading, add a subheading, or add a little body of text. For now, let's just add a heading, and you see it automatically adds it to your artboard, and it's already highlighted. So all you have to do is just type in what you want to say. So I always try to choose the font that I want to use first, and the reason is because if you notice, some fonts have different sizes. So it's easier to choose your font first. If you want to change it, just highlight the text and type, and it will change it. And then you can resize your text box. And you have a couple of different options. You can use the font size menu right here in the text bar menu at the top of the screen. This will decrease the font size, this increases the font size, or you can choose a preset text size. The other option to change your text size is to grab the little white circles in the corner of the text box. You can drag it in to shrink it down, drag it out to make it bigger. And then if you want to move it around, this bar indicates that you can now move your text box. And you just drag it and drop it wherever you want it. Now, in order to select a color, if you want to change the color of your text, you go to this button. This is the text color button in the text menu bar. Click on this and your color menu will open. This gives you all the default colors. So we'll pick this color. And if we decide we don't like that color, we can click here and move it around this board to the exact color we want. Let's look at the effects. To do that, click on the effects button in the text bar menu. The effects menu will open, and you can see here that the first box is none, so that doesn't change anything. Then you can create the shadow. The text shadow is one of my favorites because you can use this to create some pretty and bold text, or even create a 3D effect. So when you click on the shadow box, you'll notice that a new menu opens for you. So the first thing you can do is change your color. This color box changes the color of the shadow. So if you wanted to say make it this color, just click on the color and it will change the shadow. Then you can also change the transparency. The transparency darkens it or lightens the shadow. So if you slide it this way, notice that the shadow is getting darker. If you slide it to the left, the shadow gets lighter. You can also blur it, and when you blur it, the shadow just becomes less sharp. The direction, this is the direction of the shadow that will change. So you can slide it left and move it, or slide it right and move it this way. So once you decide you've gotten it just where you want it, drop the little circle on the bar. The offset, this changes the size of the shadow. Going left makes it smaller. Going right makes it bigger. And that's all there is to the shadow effect. The lift effect, this gives you an all over blurred gray hue all around the text instead of just one direction like the shadow blur. You can adjust the intensity by sliding the little circle up and down the bar here. It becomes more intense and darker if you slide it to the right, and it becomes less intense or noticeable as you slide it to the left. Once you get it to where you want it, you just stop the circle and that's it. The hollow effect takes out a center of your text. It gives you an outline. So with this one, you can adjust the thickness of the outline. Going to the right increases the thickness of the outline, and going to the left decreases it. Okay, so now we have the splice effect. The splice effect is very cool. It's like the hollow effect and the shadow effect combined. So again, you can change the color of the shadow, not the actual text. And then you can also change the direction. So if you move it to the right or you move it to the left, it moves the shadow. And then you have offset. Offset changes the space between the shadow and the outline text. So if you scoot it to the right, the shadow comes further apart from the text. And if you scoot it to the left, you can literally fill in your hollow text. So then you have your thickness. The thickness increases the outline of the text, just like with the hollow effect. So if you scoot it to the right, that outline on the text becomes thicker or thinner. Once you get it to where you want it, just drop the little white circle. The echo effect is kind of like the shadow effect, but it gives you an additional layer of a shadow. And this is also a good effect to help create the 3D effect. You can change the color of the shadows, but you can't adjust the transparency of the shadows like you can with the shadow effect. You click the color here and then pick the color for the shadows that you want. So you can adjust the direction of the shadows with this little white circle up and down the bar. So if you just notice that the shadow is moving behind the text, and then when you get it where you want it, you just drop the little white circle. Offset, this changes, how far off of the text that the shadows come. Basically, how big do you want the shadows to be? Then you also have the glitch effect. This is often referred to as the TikTok effect. So if you notice, when you click on the glitch effect, your text has the outline in these bright colors, and you can choose the aqua and pink or aqua and red. You can also adjust the direction. So where do you want the red and where do you want the aqua? Once you decide where you want it, you just drop the little white circle on the bar. And then you have the offset. This changes the thickness of the glitch effect shadow. If you pull the little white circle to the right, it makes it larger. If you take it to the left, it makes it smaller, almost completely disappearing. So once you get it to where you like it, you just drop the little white circle on the bar, and there's your glitch effect. Now you can choose between these two colors, but you cannot change it to different colors. So your glitch effect is either this color set or this color set. And then you have the neon. The neon effect gives your text a look very similar to a neon light by giving you the fairly intense blurred effect in a lighter shade of the text, and it lightens the inside of your text with the same shade as the blur with a darker outline. You can change the intensity with this little circle on the bar. If you slide it to the right, the intensity becomes brighter. If you slide it to the left, it becomes darker. So once you get it to where you want it, just drop the circle on the bar. And then you also have the background effect. This is a great one to create a button style or just really give something more of a standout presence. When you click on it, it automatically adds a background behind your text. You can change the color of the background, literally any color you want on the color menu, and then you can change the transparency. Slide it to the left and it makes it lighter, and slide it to the right, it makes it darker. So when you get it to where you want it, just drop the little white circle on the bar. And then you have spread. The spread makes your background bigger or smaller. So once you have your background the size you want it behind your text, just drop the little white circle on that bar. Now the roundness, this changes the shape of the background. So you can literally make it an oval, like a pill shape, or you can make it a square, or in this case, a rectangle. So once you decide that you like the roundness of the corners, just drop your little white circle on that bar. And now we have the curved effect. So the curved effect is one of my favorites. It's just fun, and it can be combined with all of the other effects too. So you just click it and it literally will curve your text. And if you have the background behind it, it'll curve the background. If you go with the neon, same thing. So whatever effect you choose, you can add the curved effect as well. To change the size of your curve, you grab this little white circle and slide it up and down the bar. So if you'll notice, if you go all the way to the other side, it curves it in the opposite direction. Once you get it where you want it, you just drop your little white circle on the bar. If you're finding this video helpful, be sure to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I post a new weekly video. So with any of these effects that we've looked at so far, you can also choose to change the letter spacing, and all you do is click on this button, the spacing button, and you can see, just move this so you can see it. Okay, click the letter spacing button, and the top line here is your letter spacing. Grab hold of the little white circle, move it to the left, and you decrease the space between the letters. Move it to the right, and you increase the space between the letters. Once you get it to the space that you want it, drop the little white circle on the bar, and there you have it. So another neat trick you can do with the text is changing the transparency. This button here in the menu bar, this is your transparency button. So the transparency can be changed just by dragging the little white circle up and down the bar. This literally changes the transparency of your text. Now it's time for the super fun effects. Animation. Animation gives your text movement, which definitely adds interest to any text and design, and Canva has made this so easy to do. All you do, click on your text box, get the text box menu, and then you click on the animate button in the menu bar. This opens the animations menu. Hover over the boxes, it shows you what that animation will do. And you'll see that some of them are pro account features, but for the free account, there's still lots that you can do. For the animation, we're going to pop into my pro account. So I want to be able to show you the additional things that you can do with animation with the pro account, because I feel like this is a really important feature if you're a small business owner wanting to create your own content. So you click on the animate button and it opens your text animations menu. And just like in the free account, if you hover, it will show you what that particular animation does. Now, the great thing about the pro account and the animations is that you can actually edit the animation. This is one of my favorites, the typewriter effect. And if you click on the button, you'll notice you get these three little bars. Click on the bars, and then you can decide whether you want your animation to happen when you enter, on exit, or both. You can also adjust the speed by moving the little white circle up and down this bar, and that will determine how fast your animation goes. So if you slow it down, the text animation goes slower, and if you slide it to the right, it speeds it up. So I typically try to set mine in the middle. That way it's not too terribly slow, but it's not so fast that it's missed. So another thing that you can do in the pro account when you edit animations is the style. You can choose whether it goes by character. So this one will go by like one character at a time, or by the word. Character, word. Let's try this one so we can see what it does different. Open up the menu. Again, you can pick whether it happens when you enter, on exit, or both. You can speed it up, slow it down. You can choose by character, by word, or by line. And then with this one, you can also choose the direction that the animation happens. So you can see if I click on this arrow, it goes to the left. This arrow, it goes to the right. This brings it up, and that brings it down. If you've picked an animation and you don't like it, all you have to do is click remove animation, and that takes the animation off of your text. So as you can see with the pro account, there are a whole lot more options. You still see the little yellow crown, but if you have the pro account, you can use these without any problem. I hope you found this video super helpful. With Canva, the possibilities to create your own content are truly unlimited. So be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every week when I release a new tutorial. Be sure to grab your free quick start guide to using Canva, and you'll find a link to that in the description. If you're a new Canva user, this is going to be super helpful and really give you a solid footing to get started with your basics. If you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to post them. I'll get back to you just as quickly as I can. I love hearing from people watching my videos, and I'll see you next week for the next tutorial.